Welcome back to Vice Grip Garage. Today is day 4 of Hot Rod Power Tour. We're going through the vehicles right now, getting ready to head over to Concord, North Carolina to legendary zMAX Dragway. We've got a new rig, and I've got a name for it. Let's see if we can get there. How's she looking?
I love that.
Yeah, she can use just a little bit. And I think the truck can also use, well, this one's about 2 quarts down. This is a 1966 Ford F100 we just picked up yesterday. Pretty solid old rig. I'm actually becoming very fond of this truck. It's just such a beautiful styling. You got a 66 Ford front end right here. You got a 66 Chevrolet right there. Now, we had a little bit of fuel make it happen or issues yesterday, and the easiest way to get back on the road was to bite the bullets and put a new fuel make it happen on, and we did that with this Holly here. That's a 600 CFM vacuum secondary electro-digital choke, which I have zip tied off right now because that wire I thought had 12 volts apparently doesn't because the choke wasn't working. But other than that, it's been a pretty okay-ish rig so far. Pleasantly surprised, but we got a long way to get home, and our journey starts today with continuing on to zMAX Dragway. The Buick's been just rock solid, 0 issues. Longmire's going good. A couple little small things here or there. We've lighting issues. We got to get some fuses today. We had some stuff with the taillights. I don't know if it's a ground issue or something like that. But other than that, this truck's been doing fantastic. The fuel tank in the back's been working out great. The Holly Sniper EFI system on this has been working fantastic. So a pretty solid rig. So you know the drill by now. We're gonna find the nearest gas station, load up on accessories, get some groceries for the old belly sack. Gotta get some ice for the coolers, of course, fill these rigs up. And I think today we're gonna have to take a shortcut, and then we'll jump back on the route and continue on to zMAX because we've missed a couple days now with mechanical issues and breakdowns, and we really want to get there, mostly to see you fans, right? And then walk the midway and show you guys that. So we're gonna kind of sneak across. There's a big loop essentially as the official route, but we're gonna kind of right through the center of that, try to pick up some time just in case something happens to the truck or any of the vehicles. We have a little bit more time. Speaking of, I got a name for this. I think I'm gonna call this thing Waylon. Inspired by the lyrics of Waylon Jennings, I may be used, but baby I ain't used up. Right? She's got some miles, but I think we can get some more out of her yet. Old rig. We're gonna do some maintenance on this thing today too. Let's get to the station. Do a cold start on Waylon here. Oh, look at that. Just like it just shut off. These wing windows are pivotal in old rigs when you don't have air conditioning. That one works fine. It holds itself in place. This one is really floppy. You swing it out, it would just slap closed. So I fixed it the right way and just ran a zip tie around the mirror here, and I think that's gonna be just fine. Shoot some wind right down in there. To start our tune-up on the rig, of course we got to go with the berm. And instead of going down the app, we're gonna go right in the tank, clean out the fuel lines, fuel pump. Of course our fuel make it happen is new, but this will clean up the intake runners, valves, combustion chamber. We might even see it on the plugs. What in the devil? We got an airplane somewhere, wide open headers. I like it. I like it a lot. Anyways, we'll let it chew on this on the way to Concord, and then we'll pull the plugs. Probably just gonna replace them because we know they're fouled after that other carburetor fiasco. candy out like a parade. It's nice. $8,000. Oh boy. Huh. Looks like it's got 69 plates on it still. And it says it's original 35,000 miles. I don't know about that. That's a lot of oil leak and soak and stuff for... Huh. I think I got a pass on this Chevelle. She's pretty rotted actually. I'm surprised for being around this area. It must be a transplant or something. But we'll keep our eyes peeled for another Chevelle someday. So far going pretty good. Truck seems to be doing fine. Working our way there. It's a beautiful country back there. Typical gas station stop, turn into little car shows basically. And I got us some Motorcraft plugs. Change the sparkulators up on that unit there. When we get there, we're getting pretty close. Met a lot of great folks. It's been super fun. Another Chevrolet over there. Unfortunately, you can see all the hoods propped up here and there along the waiting line. Car's getting hot and overheated. Truck's starting to warm up. We're getting close to 200 here. It's just one of those things you really got to prepare for cooling. They just opened up another gate. We were lucky enough to be first in line for that, but now we got to try to sneak into this line. Look at all these vehicles trying to funnel into zMAX. Over 6,000 hot rods. This line goes all the way down, all the way back around, all the way up. Pretty wild. underweight on here, getting ready to change the oil. Here's what the exhaust looks like. We got some flexo pipe, dryer ducting, and some chrome pipes down there into the mufflers. But anyway, trying to change the oil, and you can tell that the engine doesn't belong in here because, well, there you go. The drain plug is over the cross member. So my options are make a huge mess or make a complete mess. So I'm gonna opt for option 3, which is just destruct everything and have oil spraying off of this and try to get it into the pan. I'm just gonna let it flow. You know, it'll come off this ridge and make a waterfall and make a gigantic mess. But that's what we gotta do, so we're gonna do it. Well, the guy got the oil drained. Of course, that was fun. And had to use some rocks to prop this up because of course there's a bunch of flat ground, but I picked this mountainside with lava rock at like well, this is level right, that. So, you know, anyway, that was fun. Now I've got to get that orange thing out of here now. So we're working on this. We're gonna let this spill over not spill all over the ground, but definitely go into my pan. They didn't have a Wix in stock. Whoops. Oh. So I picked up the K&M. Throw that in here. And then for oils, of course, we're going with the old T4. 1200 ppm, zinc, phosphorus, all the vitamins and minerals the guy needs. I'm going to throw in a scooch of Lucas, because this says oil alone is not enough. Okay, sure. And then we're gonna re-ring this. I know that sounds like a big job. You know, it's smoking when I get on it a little bit. Could be ring wear, it's hard to say. So we're gonna put some brand new rings in this thing. And by that I mean, we're dumping this in. It restores compression, restores the horsepower, and the engine life. Sure, whatever. So that's our snake oil concoction, is what I'm saying. Well, went on to change the sparkulators here. Pulled the first boot off and just ripped it in half. The end stayed on the sparkulator. So I ghetto crimped that back on, shot some WD-40, got her patched up. The other issue is, this has late model heads, like mid-late-ish 70s heads, not the early heads. So these sparkulators won't work. And we're not going on a parts run because there's still 7,000 billion cars coming in. So I just put the old one back in and pretended that I didn't see that it was heavily fouled. And we'll plug this in and just keep going for now. Maybe tonight we'll pick some up or something like that. And then also Chad, not the other Chad, notice this. It's, well, we'll just wrap some tape around that. A zip tie should be fine as well. Ooh, I wonder if a guy could slip this. No, fan. Okay, anyway, we're just gonna pretend we also didn't see that and eventually pick up a hose. But anyway, 15 hours later, the oil has changed. Neat. Well, we just stood up onto the trees and man, I got to meet, I don't know, a few hundred of you at least. That was a blast. Now we're down behind zMAX. This is the back side. And we're trying to find where to punch our badge credential things. There are so many beautiful cars here. It's just unbelievable. Oh, thank you. And Jessica wants a cone of ice.
Yes.
Pretty bad.
Hot.
And I could probably stand a bratwurst or something. Well, here's the midway. Whole bunch of different vendors. Oil companies, strap companies, things like that. They got a stage up here. Sometimes they play music, sometimes they don't.
Was it 09? It's not
a few different rows of
what you said, was it 70?
different vendors and stuff like that. Chevrolet's got a nice little booth here. And then they just have random folks that if you get here early enough, I think is what it is, you can kind of park your rig in here. So some of these have, you know, nothing to do with it. They got the track open and pretty much anybody can run. Well, anybody can run. If you're on tour, you're a go. A Lots of folks having fun. A few of these cars have been by a couple times. Well, we're just pulling out for the day. Boy, what a crowd. Fresh oil change got this thing up to almost 60 pounds of oil pieces. We still got to get some sparklators though at some point. Still a big crowd. It's late in the afternoon. We found a sneaky way out. We cut some gates, allegedly. So we didn't have to sit in that stuff. Pulling into our motel and look at this. Wow. We're running to O'Reilly's to get some parts, so of course we got to take the Do car. Traffic is something else, and you get this many cars in town. But it's cool seeing all the classics instead of all the newer cars. We're back with parts. If you're wondering if the Mountain Dew car does burnouts, it does. Jessica wasn't very happy with me, but she'll lay them down, guys. Okay, so we're putting plugs in the truck. We're gonna put new lightning hoses in the truck. We're doing it tonight because tomorrow we got a lot of miles. Well, we got this side done. We decided to do the lightning hoses because if you remember earlier, these ones there, I just went to pull one off and it just like cut itself in half somewhere in the middle of the boot. So this is replacing them. I got the cheapest ones, of course. We did go with the R45 TS's. TS, of course, stands for tapered seat, and that's how we know it has late model heads. Check this out. These sparklators over here, although still fouled, are looking incredibly more gooder, betterest than previously when I pulled this out. And that is two things. One, the berryman is doing what it's supposed to do. It's cleaning these up significantly. Two, it's fueling correctly. So as we drove all day today, it was actually closer to Stoich, and it was cleaning these up. But we're gonna go ahead and throw a new set in, then we can read on these, make adjustments if we need to. I know I could find some Holly jets if we need to rejet it, but so far it's been running very, very well. The only one that's off is this front little bugger up here. She's burning a lot of oil compared to the other ones here. You can see the porcelains. So that piston is definitely not like the others thus far. We'll switch over to the other side, see what we got going on over there. Then I'm just making the old zip tie, holder downer, separator uppers, because I'm not paying $13 for those cheap little clip things. That works just fine. Well, this is all finished up now. And safe to say we found our miss. Wait! I need this guy. There you go. Look at this thing. She is toast. There is so much oil and material and carbon. Basically, this thing is barely firing. Barely. Also, this guy had a bunch of oil on the seat, meaning the oiling rings aren't really doing ring things and the other rings aren't really doing ring things. So 6 of the 8 are in good shape though. I mean, that's good. That's passing grade essentially. So we're gonna pretend that we didn't see that. But in all honesty, I'm gonna keep running Berryman in this probably every time I fill up. I gotta get a couple more cans. And I'm gonna start really feeding the onions to this thing, pouring the coal to it, because if we can get that to start firing, even if I felt it firing intermittently, I know it can do that, but if we could do it under load and get lots of combustion pressure in there, it might, maybe the rings are stuck. I don't know. All we know is this is an unknown high miles 302. It could have been sitting forever. It could be a mechanical issue. We don't know. We're gonna find out though. Also, I keep forgetting to order this hose every time we go in. So we're gonna forget that again for tonight. And Chad, not the other Chad, did find a hose at Napa, which is where this one came from. So we know it'll do the thing. We'll probably swing in there first thing in the morning, grab that, swap it in the parking lot, grab more Berryman, and then do our normal ice and back neck drinks and all that stuff. Still need to dial this in a little bit, but I think for tonight we're gonna call it good. We're at the motel, all vehicles running, sun isn't even down yet. I think that's a record for this week actually. So that's going to do it for today, day 4 of Hot Rod Power Tour. Tomorrow we have 167 miles. The route looks absolutely epic. It's a ton of back roads, twisty, winding roads, all of that stuff. But we're going to end up at the last great Coliseum. Really looking forward to this one. If you can make it down, come on down. I'm sure we'll post up again and would love to meet all of you guys. We still got to see if the Ford's going to make it there, if Longmire's going to hang in there. Reminder on the Do car, vicegripgarage.com. Pick up anything you want. Back rag, forehead awning, keychain, sticker. Every $5 gets you one chance to win the car plus $5,000 cash. Thanks guys, appreciate you very much. And hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Yeah. Smells like Cooper Cobras.